Have you ever wondered why someone who once couldn't go a single day without talking to you suddenly becomes distant, cold, or even acts as if you never existed? Why do some people cry every night after a breakup while others seem completely fine? And why do so many people return months later, just when you've finally started to move on? The truth is, breakups don't only end relationships. They trigger a series of powerful psychological reactions inside the human brain. Understanding these reactions can help you make sense of confusing behavior, heal faster, and avoid making decisions you'll later regret. When a relationship ends, the brain doesn't simply accept the loss. It reacts almost as if it has lost something essential for survival. During love, the brain becomes flooded with chemicals like dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. Dopamine creates excitement and anticipation whenever you see or hear from your partner. Oxytocin strengthens emotional attachment and builds trust. Over time, your brain begins to associate this person with comfort, happiness, and safety. But after a breakup, the sudden absence of these rewarding experiences causes the brain to experience emotional withdrawal. This is why many psychologists compare heartbreak to addiction withdrawal. You don't just miss the person, you miss the emotional rewards your brain had become dependent on. One of the most common behaviors after a breakup is constantly checking an ex's social media. Many people know it hurts, yet they keep doing it anyway. Psychologically, this happens because the brain is desperately searching for answers and closure. Every profile visit creates a small burst of hope, even if it leads to disappointment. Unfortunately, this creates a cycle where temporary curiosity increases long-term emotional pain. The more you check, the longer your brain struggles to let go. Another fascinating behavior is emotional numbness. Some people appear completely unaffected after a breakup. They post happy pictures, go out with friends, and seem to enjoy life as if nothing happened. Many assume these people never truly cared, but psychology suggests something different. Emotional numbness is often a defense mechanism. The brain temporarily suppresses painful emotions to protect itself from overwhelming stress. This doesn't necessarily mean the person has healed. In many cases, those emotions return weeks or even months later, often when life becomes quiet and distractions disappear. Then there are people who become obsessed with self-improvement immediately after the breakup. They start going to the gym, reading books, learning new skills, changing their appearance, or focusing intensely on their careers. While this may seem like simple motivation, psychology explains that breakups often damage self-esteem. Improving themselves helps people regain a sense of control and rebuild confidence that may have been lost during the relationship. Another behavior that confuses many people is the rebound relationship. Shortly after a breakup, someone may begin dating another person almost immediately. Friends often interpret this as proof they never loved their previous partner. However, psychological research suggests rebound relationships are frequently driven by emotional avoidance rather than genuine emotional recovery. The new relationship serves as a distraction from loneliness, sadness, or insecurity. While some rebound relationships become healthy and lasting, many fade once the initial emotional pain begins to surface. Have you ever noticed how memories become stronger after a breakup? Suddenly, your mind replays old conversations, vacations, inside jokes, and happy moments over and over again. This happens because the brain naturally remembers emotionally meaningful experiences more vividly than ordinary ones. Even more interesting, the brain often filters out negative memories during heartbreak and focuses mainly on positive ones. This psychological bias can make you believe the relationship was perfect, even if it wasn't. One of the biggest questions people ask is why an ex suddenly reaches out months later. The answer often lies in familiarity. Human beings naturally seek emotional comfort in familiar people and experiences. As the excitement of being single fades, or new relationships fail to provide the same emotional security, the brain begins comparing the present to the past. Nostalgia can become powerful, causing someone to reconnect. Not always because they truly want the relationship back, but because the familiar feels emotionally safe. Another common post-breakup behavior is overthinking. People replay every conversation, every mistake, and every decision. They ask themselves endless questions. What if I had said something different? What if I had stayed? What if they come back? Unfortunately, the brain dislikes uncertainty. When there are unanswered questions, it continues searching for explanations, even when none exist. This mental loop can become exhausting and often delays emotional healing. Interestingly, not everyone heals at the same pace. Attachment style plays a huge role in how people behave after heartbreak. People with secure attachment usually experience sadness, but gradually recover in healthy ways. Those with anxious attachment often struggle with fear of abandonment, repeatedly seeking contact or reassurance from their former partner. People with avoidant attachment may appear emotionally distant immediately after breakup, but often experience delayed grief once the emotional walls begin to lower.